Assalamualaikum and hello madam. My name is Alwafi, UDC 210220, and I am the group leader of this group. So the company we choose for this assignment is Lotus, KFM and Malayan Flour Mills aka MFLOUR. Okay, this is our group member for this group. Without further ado, let's jump to the introduction part. Lotus KFM Berhad is a company that operates with flour and other types of grain mills product since 12 May 1984. They produce wheat flour, tapioca flour, cornstarch and premix flour. The company had changed its name from Kuantan Flour Mills Berhad to Lotus KFM Berhad to reflect a new corporate entity in 2019. And then MFLOUR. On October 15, 1966, Malayan Flour Mills Berhad was established. The company's primary operation is milling and selling wheat flour and grain trading. The mills created the late Datuk David L.F. Sung, a well-known Hong Kong financier and industrialist.
The first ratio is liquidity ratio. Under liquidity ratio, there are two ratios which are current ratio and quick ratio. For current ratio, Lotus current ratio is 11 times while MFLOUR current ratio is 1.22 times. Lotus have much more asset to cover the liabilities. Having a ratio of 1.22 times for every 1 ringgit of current liabilities, the company only has 1 ringgit 22 cents of current asset as a backup, as compared with the Lotus company of 11 ringgit to backup. In order to lower MFLOUR liabilities, MFLOUR must increase their sales to generate more revenue. Moving on to quick ratio. Compared to MFLOUR's quick ratio of 0.80 times, which is less than 1, Lotus' quick ratio of 10 times is greater than 1. Lotus has enough asset to cover its liabilities. MFLOUR, a company with a quick ratio of less than 1, won't be able to cover its current liabilities on time without selling off its inventory. Therefore, Lotus KFM has higher quick ratio than MFLOUR. Thank you.
Now I would like to talk about efficiency ratio. For inventory turnover ratio, MFLOUR company does not dominate the market because they only take stock from supplier 4 times compared to the Lotus KFM Berhad company, which takes stock 7 times. Here too, obviously that Lotus KFM Berhad dominates the market more widely. For the account receivable turnover, MFLOUR company took 56 days for them to collect their sale that were made on credit, while the company Lotus KFM Berhad took only 41 days from them to collect their credit sales. This is show that MFLOUR companies are not efficient in controlling their debts. And for total asset turnover, the ratio for Lotus KFM is 0.59 times, while MFLOUR ratio is 0.88 times. In the context, MFLOUR company is efficient in aspect of boosting sales or revenues from its asset value, while the Lotus KFM Berhad company indicates that a company's assets are not being used efficiently.
Hello madam, my name is Alyssa Amira and my matrix number is UDC 210166. So in my part, I'll be explaining about the leverage ratio. A leverage ratio is one of the many financial measurements that evaluates a company's capacity to fulfill its financial commitments. Firstly, we have debt ratio. The ratio indicates that MFLOUR's debt ratio is 50.56%, which means the company's liabilities exceeds its assets, whereas the ratio for Lotus KFM is 15.94, which indicates that a larger percentage of a company's assets are supported by equity. Next is times interest earned. The time interest earned ratio assesses a company's ability to meet its debt commitments based on current earnings. The ratio of times interest earned measured for Lotus KFM is lesser than MFLOUR. The ratio for Lotus KFM is 9.08, whereas MFLOUR has a times interest earned of 5.66. This shows that Lotus KFM has a higher ability to fulfill its debt obligations than MFLOUR. That's all from me, madam. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alga. Now we're going to discuss the profitability ratio. So for the profitability ratio, we have the 3 types of the ratio, which is the net profit margins, return of equity, return of assets. Now I'm going to discuss the net profit margin. So Lotus KDM profit margin is the 5.14%, while the MFLOUR is the 8.18%. So MFLOUR is only earn a profit net profits of the 8.18 cents per 1 ringgit sales. Lotus KDM earn 5.14 cents for every 1 ringgit of sales. It showed that the Lotus will implement a new financial plan and lower down the expense in order to grow the sales. Next, return of equity. So Lotus KDM return on equity ratio is the 3.64%, while the MFLOUR is 40.70%. So it showed that MFLOUR is excellent in increasing the shareholder value since it will reinvest its profit appropriately. Last but not least, return of asset. Lotus KDM return of asset ratio is the 3.06%, while MFLOUR is the 7.27%. So MFLOUR is much successful in converting capital into the net profit. The Lotus KDM program may have the over-investing in the non-revenue generating asset. I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, for recommendation, I will touch on 3 major things. Firstly, suggestion to improve liquidity ratio. To improve the liquidity ratio is that the company must effectively manage its current liabilities. Secondly, suggestion to improve inventory turnover. Increasing sales is a strategy for boosting the inventory turnover ratio. Company sales could use a boost from improved marketing strategies that would increase industry demand. Next, improving asset turnover. The simplest way to increase the asset turnover ratio is to prioritize revenue growth.
For the conclusion, the given analysis presented in this report provide a true analysis of how Lotus FM and MFLOUR have performed in the past years, contrasting the last year's reporting period and comparing both companies' financial reports. Potential investors may use this information to assess the success of both companies throughout the year, the company's assets and liabilities, the performance period of last year, and the future company financial stability and the overall value of both companies. The strength of the Lotus KFM were indicated that have good performance of current ratio, quick ratio, inventory turnover ratio, account receivable turnover, debt ratio, debt to equity ratio, and time interest earned. The strength of MFLOUR have good performance in the total assets turnover, net profit margin, return on equity, and return on assets. Based on annual report will come from company's financial statement, and both companies have their strength and weakness. This information is helpful for firms and financial managers to examine economic patterns for future adjustment and reduce weaknesses. Such helps financial managers make prudent choice on advertising method, marketability, and product information. Thank you.
So that's all from us, madam. Thank you.